Meditation is must. After 24 hours, 2 hours you must close your eyes and observe your breathing. That is meditation. For everybody, including Prime Minister, they should do meditation. Everybody needs meditation. Whether you are a farmer or a businessman or a student or a teacher or a bus driver or a bus conductor or a Prime Minister or a President or a Chief Minister, everybody needs meditation. That's why we are teaching meditation to everybody. We don't want any problems to anybody. 24 hours are there, 2 hours, do meditation. Rest 22 hours, do whatever you want to do. You will be a happy person. You will be a healthy person. And if you don't dedicate these 2 hours for meditation, you will neither be a happy person nor be a healthy person. You will always go towards doctors and hospitals and surgeries. No. We don't want any doctor in our life. We don't want any surgery in our life. We don't want any hospital in our life. For that, we need to give 2 hours of meditation every day. In your own home. Anytime. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. 2 hours you must give to meditation. Then no, you cannot have any problems. All physical problems, emotional problems, family problems, relationship problems, psychological problems, mental problems, everything will vanish. For everybody. Please do meditation. And spread meditation. 4 things are there. Say, learn meditation.
Learn meditation.
Practice meditation.
Practice meditation.
Teach meditation.
Teach meditation.
Spread meditation.
Spread meditation.
This is how you can help the whole mankind. Yourself. You can help yourself and you can help the whole mankind. When you learn and practice meditation, you are helping yourself. When you are teaching and propagating meditation, you are helping the whole mankind. Isn't it? Please do that.
Namaste, dear friends and masters. On behalf of Buddha Seva Quantum Foundation, I warmly welcome you all to the day 25 of our program, Gratitude. This is Namita Singh from Gurgaon. Happy to be here. Happy to be your host. Yes, we must make meditation an integral part of our life. I felt that there were so many surprises, pleasant surprises in store for me as I practiced meditation. I stopped explaining myself. Before that, I was always out to prove my point. I would just go on and on with my unending tale, my sagas. Now I have started listening to people, though still I'm not a good listener. But I feel lighter. Certainly, life becomes better, happier, smoother. For that, what you have to do? Just close your eyes, observe your breath, have fun and frolic with your breath. We will understand more about emotional regulation from Chandra sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Happy morning, dear friends and masters. Great afternoon, evening. Namita madam brought a very important point. I stopped giving explanations, stopped trying to convince my point. Two things are there. Stop trying to prove my points. And stop giving explanations. We don't manage. When we become courageous, our self-expression gets better and better. We express it only when necessary, and then we recognize our words have to be impeccable, that they have to be either useful. There has to be some purpose of why we use something, truthful or positive. There is no need for explanations, or there is no need to prove points. Everybody is entitled for their opinions. In doing these two, explanations and proving points, we drain our energy. We drain our energy. Constantly, we are trying to satisfy somebody. When you're giving an explanation, think about what is the deeper meaning. You're trying to get the validation that you're still right. When you come to a meeting late, we go on explaining. First of all, we enter the meeting halfway through. Then we start explaining, disrupting the flow. This happened for me, the traffic was so bad, and this way. Is it useful to anybody? It's never useful to anybody. There's no necessary at all for those 20 people in the room to know where you were. What's the point? Trying to get sympathy from everyone that is okay and please okay that I came late. Is that why we'll give explanations? On one side, what do they think of me? I come late, they judge me. And so that's why I have to give explanations to clear in their mind the doubt or the judgment that, I'm still right. And you give explanation and discussion that because you didn't think that the point went right, and so they go on then trying to explain over the phone again and again and again. No, that's not what I meant, this and that. Because we have this fear that fundamentally somebody else is judging us. And so then we get impacted of something. And so we go on giving explanations, but it drains our energy. We need to feel right for what we've done. If it is right, great. If it's wrong, and you feel consciously into your conscience if it's wrong, okay, so decide how can you be better next time, but their matter ends. I come late, feel right to my conscience. Did I do everything adequately for it? Did I do everything adequately? Did I start early enough at the home? What is that caused me to come late? Fix that, than to try to convince and give explanations. And if you're worried about somebody judging you, then as small as that, you perhaps don't need the relationship. If the judge is as simple as that, and then carry something in their mind, perhaps not worth it having the relationship. Those who judge on a dime. Because we will go on explaining the whole life to somebody or the other, go on giving their explanations. They won't learn this, dear friends, and stop that. You become free. You're only checking your inner conscience, but that's all, not trying to satisfy every person in the room and not necessary. Explain our situation to every person in the room, not necessary. Only where it's necessary. And perhaps one word, if the manager asked why you came late, that's the time to even do it. Otherwise, not necessary. No explanations. When I switch on the videos, then some people write explanations. That's not necessary. I don't need the explanation. It is just saying, are in a meeting room and when a manager asks to switch on the videos, you don't have to give explanations because you are a senior director or somebody, and then when even the juniors are there in front of us, the manager asks, okay, can we see each other? And suddenly some senior people start writing. No, camera is bad, and I had this, start giving explanations there. What's the point? You're trying to prove that I'm still right in the situation. You don't need to prove points to anybody. You have a reason of why you didn't have window open, fair enough, that's good. That's good enough. But if there's no reason you still didn't have it, then might as well get it right and then so be prepared. If it all required was to get a little bit of hair set and so then you could sit down and then you were too lazy, do that and so next time you are actually doing a lot more engaging discussions. Emotional intelligence difference is to recognize and then be in consideration of others when we are responding to situations all the time. One is to take care of yourself in responses, not trying to judge yourself, not trying to criticize yourself all the time. The opposite of it is to develop that self-love. That's what is awareness. The moment we start recognizing our emotions, where many a times we criticize ourselves. And so then it develops the self-love and we have the self-awareness, first and foremost aspect of meditation. The second thing is about extending the same to others. And then foremost of that is empathy. When I was, a very important event, when I was transitioning out of IBM, so one of our VPs from the United States, I used to be a VP, and he's a colleague in the same level. But and it's common that executives visit India and the United States, they travel. We go there, they come all the time. And so the visitors during the transition time, it's very common when senior people come, then we try to catch up in a breakfast or dinner meeting. So as soon as he landed, and so that morning I will have this call. Transitioning time. So his agenda was to come and then have conversations with my team that reported to me to make sure that he understands as a transition out that no certain aspects, basically like a tech transfer to him. So here is where the conversation goes. Then he was talking about this and says, Chandra, today in the meetings, I don't want you to be there. the meetings that I organized for him so that we can go through it. So today I know you organize a lot of meetings, a whole day meetings, and I don't want you to be there because if you are there, then they cannot speak up truth. Okay. And then if you are there, then deep inside, somewhere the conversation gets steered away. Very common in corporate culture that people fear that if a boss is there, I should not speak. But that's not the culture we built. I understood the fear, I understood the discomfort that he has, because when you are dealing with potentially more competent people or whatever, that you have that fear that okay, it'll get overshadowed, it'll go into different direction or whatever. Sense of insecurity. And I said, fine, no problem. So this is good. So if that's what makes this meeting more productive, because it's his meeting and I'm transitioning out, is going to take over in some level a big part of what I'm doing. I said, fine. That moment, I said, where is this insecurity coming from? Because I had prepared to help do everything necessary for him to take over in the most appropriate way. But then here he's coming with a little sense of insecurity. Then saying, don't join that no, because we thought everything is the same. But that moment, because he came all the way to do some of these important meetings, I felt, let's allow him to do it, no problem. But then I still want to do the right thing. And then I went to my team and I told him, because I know they will be very upset about it, or rather some of them, they are very mature. I said, this is the guy, so I'm not going to join the meetings. And so they're trying to assign a few things to everybody who is supposed to do that part that which I thought I will do. They were mad. Some of them were mad. That how can we do this? It's not right. In any case, so they did the meeting. I reflected upon that event. There are many, many situations that show up like this where that empathy, the consideration from others' point of view must be looked at. I could take it very personal in the situation and say, how could you even have a comment like this saying that now people will not open up, they may get restricted, they may get stifled because you are there. Or I could just simply stick to my guns and say, no way, this is my meeting, I'm organizing, so if you want to join, so whatever that is, I could easily say that. But empathy, to understand from others' perspective, and then help them evolve through it, appropriate responses, considerations in many ways, I think are the way that we multiply our experience of life. Meditation is bringing that awareness, and meditation bringing that connection and say, fine, while I knew it may not necessarily be the greatest outcome, but in this case, he has a point. So we'll allow that point to happen, number one. Number two, that's not necessarily the time to question because he made up his mind. If I have to have a question and then slowly consider and then explain, because it may not be the best outcome, it'll only lead to altercation, but instead at that point. But if I had opportunities later somewhere, I could still have the conversation, but then is not the right time to talk about it. Things will happen, things will take place. There are different ways of doing things. The same thing can be done by different ways. At home, constantly battles are there. I say, do it this way. And then the children and then spouses don't want to because they have their own way. What is there in setting a room or doing this and doing that? There are many ways are there. Why we say this way? Some way, some worries. Considerations have to be there. The fundamental principle of meditation is to uphold the nature law, that freedom and free will. And that comes from the understanding that we're all connected, that we're all the same, no different. We're all connected, we're all the same. And so then why not? Why not give that freedom and feel we're all here for our own experience. We all came with our own plan. So we allow others to operate with freedom. Meditation and considering from an empathy perspective. So understanding others in their perspective is empathy and enhances significantly. Not out of helplessness, not out of a sympathetic nature that, okay, poor things, poor people, sad situations, and so then as we help. Not at all that. We develop empathy to understand why if somebody got into a situation, okay, they're going through a certain past. I recognize it. They're perhaps important for them to learn through the lesson. So then when I'm there, I comfort them and then let them learn through the lesson. One situation maybe. Empathy, understand they're going through the past, but I see strong determination to go through this right now. Okay, let me see if there is a way I can give my little push of energy to them. There are many ways, but empathy comes from there. Understanding others in their situations. So let's explore this a little bit more after meditation. Yesterday, Rakesh talked about self-awareness and expression. Today, we'll cover the grounds on empathy, inspiration, empathy, and engagement. How meditation makes us more inspired. How meditation helps us to inspire others. Then what is this empathy? And then, of course, engagement in a way that truly, truly helps us to do larger things in life. Sort of that after meditation, relax yourself, dear friends. Practicing breath mindfulness meditation. Goal of this meditation is to rest the mind of thought and also to connect to this innate intelligence out there, quantum field of energy and the intelligence, which is called awareness. It's constantly paying attention to us and constantly guiding. And so the goal of meditation is to rest the body, rest the mind of thought, rest the body. So several physiological benefits. But the goal of the meditation is to take that helping hand of this intelligence that is there surrounding, guiding called awareness. How do we do it? We sit down comfortably with our eyes closed in a chair as you are there, with the legs crossed, feet crossed at ankle, eyes closed, specs removed, fingers into fingers, hands rested in your lap. Closing your eyes and then resting your attention anywhere on the nose, preferably at the beginning of the nose, which is the point in the middle of the eyebrows. Resting your attention on the nose and then observing your natural breath at that point on the nose that's going in and coming out. When you observe the breath, mind becomes empty. Slowly you go into less and less in thought states, into empty states of the mind. Be in that state. Witness anything that's happening to you when you're in this empty state. Many things can happen. Movements, vision, dreamlike states, visions, the lightness, heaviness, many things happen. Observe all of it. In case you have thought, in case you notice there are thoughts are there again, you experience a little bit of emptiness, thoughts come. When thoughts are there, come back to attend to the breath again. Again, start the process all over. Called breath mindfulness meditation. Before you practice this, we're doing a process called heart elevation. To go into a higher emotion, just follow my guidance for that, dear friends. Relax yourself. With your eyes closed, dear friends. Relax your body. Dear friends, dear masters, with your specs removed, eyes closed, keep your hands on your chest area, resting your attention on your sacred heart. Feel your heart center. Feel the center of all emotions. The soul of your body, your heart center, nurturing all life, expanding all life with the higher vibrations of compassion, kindness, gratitude. With a slow, relaxing breath, feel your loving heart connect with it, dear friends. Feel it. Fill up your heart center with our higher emotions or vibrations simply by imagining a vision from your future or in the moment. Hugging that animal, gardening and being with that nature. Just simply giving that helping hand to someone deeply in need, whatever that may be, that helps you go into that joy, care, compassion. Relive that moment and feel that energy, that elevation. The more you are with that energy, the more connected you become. Coherent. Your mind and body become, with all that is there, the field of energy. Allow yourself to direct that energy onto everything and everyone on this planet to help them heal, to help them know the truth. Where your attention goes, there your energy flows. You. Relive that moment. The more you feel that energy in your heart, the more you radiate that energy to everything and everyone, dear friends. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath, dear friends. With your attention at the root of your nose, observe your natural breath When you observe your breath, your mind is becoming less and less of thought. As your mind is becoming empty, allow yourself to experience that calmness, that emptiness. It is natural to have thought. When you recognize your thinking, go back to observing your breath and allow yourself to merge into the emptiness, that calmness. As you merge into your breath, become aware of the emptiness, of the blackness. Inside of you, all around you, as you merge into your breath. That's energy. All emptiness is energy. The quantum field of intelligence, of connection, the field of Sat Chit Ananda, the ever existing, ever expanding, ever blissful field of wisdom, of will and energy merge into you, away from your body. Receive the field of limitless possibilities. The field of insight. The more you stay connected into this emptiness, your calmness, the more insightful you become, the more you dissolve your past. always express gratitude to all things and everyone. Be grateful to your parents, teachers, mentors, family, friends, colleagues. Your gratitude for this grand nature, the mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, the planetary kingdom. Your gratitude to everything you use, the technology, the system, the company, the governments. Gratitude. To yourself and to this intelligent universe. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. And recollect your experiences from the session, and whenever you're ready, with your hands over your eyes for 5 seconds. You open your eyes. Okay, dear friends. Hope you enjoy the session. Initially, we come for something. Few people join to explore, but in most cases, we come for something. But slowly we realize that something dissolves, we simply practice. Because we recognize that whatever that is that we're looking to experience is already being fulfilled. In many ways, just by sitting for a few minutes every day. The stage is there. Meditation, we do meditation for meditation. There's nothing more here. Let me put up these charts to understand the remaining 3 components of emotional intelligence. The book by Daniel Goleman, Emotional Intelligence, is those of you, especially psychologists or those interested in this whole relationships and nature, most certainly must be read. It's a dense book, but it's a book full of insights. So the 5 areas: awareness, expression, inspiration, empathy, and engagement. We bring this up here because meditation is helping in all areas. It is helping us to develop in all areas. So awareness, the essence of awareness is that it is helping you to go from a reaction to response. This is the whole crux of all meditation and mindfulness practice, reaction to response. The outcome here, primarily I want to bring out, is to say that you become more confident about yourself. Before, because my emotions are not that great, because I don't think right, I don't feel right most of the times, I stop interacting with people, I withdraw myself, particularly about anger management. So people in many situations withdraw from group settings, discussions, because they'll not know, they feel worried that they suddenly just burst out. With meditation, that fear goes out, and as you start becoming part of groups again, you start going back into many things that you otherwise always wanted to be part. Which means what? Which means more life experiences. There's a subtlety here. The moment you feel your emotions are in control, and particularly anger, then you are drawing more experience of life because indirectly, many ways, you're cutting yourself off. Now you're going back and joining all of that, removing all the limitations. Right? And it's also the beginning where you start increasing your self-worth and self-love to yourself. Because when I started always criticizing me, now you become more loving to yourself. You don't criticize yourself anymore. You feel good about yourself and say, okay, I'm thinking, but I'm thinking about themselves than me. And I'm not just like that, giving a mouthful to somebody. All of those, as you win slowly one by one in regular meditation, whether awareness, you feel good, you feel confident. You pat yourself, self-love. Expression then is, as you gain courage, the amygdala shrinking for meditators, amygdala, the fear center is shrinking. So fears come down, then the sense of, as the fears come down, there is courage. What do you have to lose for? Nothing to lose. As the fear comes down, nothing to lose. And then you stop suppressing and you start expressing. And since there is a connection to others, which is called empathy, then you don't express arrogantly. You don't express carelessly. You are very careful. You're becoming more impeccable with the words and choice of expression. So become more careful in expressing. But still, we pursue. You want a hike, you'll do it. You want a promotion, you'll do it. You want to get funding, you'll do it. You want to start some support from family members to do your work or travel or whatever, you will do it. Rather than simply judging and saying they're not going to do, they're not going to help. Oh my God, this is just such an painful situation to go through, which is why we sort of give up too early, too soon. But here, that fear of going through again another tough discussion, all kinds of stuff that drops, and so then we are going back. And again, a lot of times when you want to discuss, put forward ideas, that leads to arguments, and so that's where you lose out on your emotional control, balance, and so that's why a lot of times, oh no, I don't want to get into this with my mom now because I just going to lead nowhere, and so then we pull back, right? We pull back. This boss, it's just waste of time. This is waste of time. I'm going and then talking, he will say this, he'll say that, he'll just go into nowhere. I know he'll just raise his voice. I don't like it. And so we don't even express it. But with the with the understanding that true joy comes from living true to your feelings. And then with the fears dropping, with the past dissolving, a meditator start expressing well. Start expressing in a very balanced way. It happens, dear friends. So that's so important. So this stage is where again, there's also the stage where we are, the more closer to truth you see, the less you're fearful, because we have this empowerment now that my thoughts create reality. So what do I lose if I go and talk about some senior person sweeping things under the carpet? So then what do I lose here? So you're not fearful about potentially losing your job or getting impacted in your work performance because that fellow will say some things. you know your thoughts, you know your genuinity, and so then you are moving more close towards upholding the values, and so they're moving more close towards pulling out things if they're being swept across the table, swept under the carpets. You're not trying to manage people here, you're not trying to manage situations, you're trying to express truthfully. And this is the time as you express, then one naturally gains what they want. So if I want a change in the job, I got to express it. I can't say it is selfish. I can't say they don't agree. I can't conclude for myself and stop here. Oh, if I ask for it, then it is considered not good because then the manager is saying, okay, you're going away from important project, and so you're asking like this, and so the fellow will not give me good hike or good review. So many fears are there. We don't ask. But when you ask, we know that your thoughts create reality, your thoughts bring things. And so when you ask is when then you're setting that energy towards it. So you're going to gain what you look for. Asking in thinking appropriately towards what you look for. And the asking is a great way of putting forth your thoughts forward and staying focused on the five sources of manifestation is when you get what you want. So the stage is where you start doing things you like. So you ask for it. Hey, I would like a new technology. I would like a new role. I'd like to do these things, important. So express it to the family. You know what? My 1 hour, that gym is really important for me. I love my son the way he expressed it several times. He's young, but he figured it out. He'll sit down with his mom, whatever that is, he'll tell. He'll convince in a way, in a very balanced, not just shouting at the top of the voice in most situations, not necessarily perfect, but figure out a way to sit down coolly and then explain why he feels good about going there and doing that gym or whatever with his friends several times. So that expression is very balanced, and so then you gain what you want, right? You know that. When we want something for our team members, if we just go with authority and say you do it, people do it, but they stifle and then they're looking for escaping at the first instance, not with interest. But then if you become friendly, any person, you become very friendly and ask, and which is the case with all employees. Patrick told me long ago, and I never forget this. One of the great ways to resolve conflicts, he said, is to seek equality, not superiority. At workplace, seek equality in all conflicts because you feel you are a boss, you are special, you are this, and so then we suddenly want special recognition, then the equality drops. So then that's when the conflicts come. As truly spiritual understanding that we're all anyway the same stuff. You are that and I am this, then what is Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi? So seek equality, not superiority. So when I started developing that difference, so it just made so much easy to work along with colleagues. So then the third thing difference is inspiration. So here it's when you're expressing, you are living, you are getting what you want, and so you're happy. You got your gym time, you got your music time, you're at home, you got your gardening time, you got your photo time. Otherwise, all the time you're passionate about photography, and then all the time people are telling this work is there, that work is there. Just don't get time for yourself. But you express it. You walk up to your boss, tell you what, every year I have to go for 4 weeks of this, my photography. And so I need that time. When you're passionate about something, you got the courage to go and ask. Meditation kindles our passions. Passions often are a purpose, right? And so with expression, you receive, and so then you're able to live a life that you feel that you want to do. And so then naturally you're going to be very joyful and happy. And when you're joyful and happy, then you do not mind doing other things. If you get your 1 hour every week, and you wanted to go and then share your knowledge in your company, and then you need that outlet, you need that because you feel that's what gives you joy of sharing what you know. Well, you got a job which is mostly stuck to the computer screens and then doing it. But if you get that 1 hour, which is what you really love to do, and then there's sufficient for you to go into without any complaint in nature, going into doing things, other things without any compliance. In other words, just carry yourself along with the rest of the work. Try doing it for children. If they want something very interesting, give them that, and you know it. Everything else they'll do. It's what we do as a human nature. And so, dear friends, the moment we start becoming more expressive, and so then the moment we start receiving what we want, we are so joyful that we are carrying whatever that is there with us happily. When you carry what you are there in front of you happily, that work is there, you're joyfully doing it, then that means you are inspiring others naturally. You already got what you want, so there is no reason to crib. So you're more inspired. So you feel like going after doing it. I feel to go back to my work because it gives me that outlet where I'm going to go and share what I know. It encourages me, right? I got my music practice every day for an hour. So me, earlier I was feeling so irritated about the household chores that I'm doing. Now I'm no longer irritated because I look for that hour. And the rest of the things I do it in a breeze. So meditation naturally brings that deep joy to us because whatever we do, we go without any pushback on it, resistance. So then we are naturally becoming an inspiration to others. We become an inspiration. We are first composed in the way we speak. Earlier, we are just telling, in a review, in a group meeting, trying to be in a criticizing tone or an aggressive tone, but now we're more composed. And then here we seem to be joyfully doing it, even though the work is same work, but they're happy in doing it. So then people start coming to, hey, what changed? They seem to be happy. Of course, I'm happy from inside. So then it is okay what I'm getting through. I recognize this is required for some people, it is only, they require that money to live. But some, then they're getting their outlet somewhere. There it's just only a money to live. For some, it's where they actually are adding value to colleagues. For some, it's like creating something really new that, they're adding value to the client. So different purposes that we have. But either way, you're joyful, and so you're inspiring because you already are getting what you want in your life, either at work or outside. Due to expression, you're confident about yourself, due to awareness. So, dear friends, so when we get what we want, we take ownership. We take ownership for whatever that we are doing. We become very accountable. So we become manager's delight. We know that. Every manager loves those who do not have to be followed through, who do not have to be chased for, hey, have you done this? Have you done that? What have you done? When will it come? If you are going proactively back to the managers or to the other team members, accountability is there, then you're loved. You become delight of our colleagues and managers. You want to be in that state. It comes from accountability. And then I've seen many, many meditators because they internally are aligned to what they're looking, and so automatically they're quite accountable, which is great. Which is great. We all masters of our lives. So why do we need somebody to come in and push us? Why do we need it? When we become master, gain mastery, naturally you take charge of your life. Why do you want somebody to come and dictate what we should do? And so dear friends, so meditation, as you become more accountable, detail oriented, we also, when you love what you're doing, and of course you go into the detail, you're not superficial. It all comes from enjoying what we do. That's the key. And so initial stage, you enjoy what you do as something is greater than the other. But slowly, as you move into this model, you start recognizing that anything that's coming to me is for my greater good. And so, and then getting that little thing that I want, that 1 hour practice, a little bit of time for planning at office. Otherwise they always ask me to document or report bugs, but here they're giving me a little bit of extra coding, extra creative activity. When I get a little bit of that, automatically everything else is whatever I'm doing, I start liking automatically. So doing what you love, you go to loving what you do. We got to figure it out, guys. Whatever that is, can I love what I do? If otherwise, it's going to be so challenging. That same household chores, so many people during COVID developed this. We all, because we couldn't do anything, we went and then washed dishes, or we went and cleaned, we went and did everything. But then same thing you continue with meditation, you figure out that in everything there is something that you can learn. How much mindfulness you can develop in cooking, so much great mindfulness you can develop. And then when you develop mindfulness, so much energy, so many ideas flow, because mindfulness leads to flow state. When you're going to flow state, that means you are becoming very, very creative. We're becoming very creative. So many aspects happen, dear friends. And so then you are automatically an inspiring person to many. So the whole idea of emotional intelligence is to love yourself and then be considerate to others so that you multiply your experience. Meditation must lead towards expanding our life, not contract life. And so when you are an inspiration, naturally there are many people want to learn from you. They flock around you. They come to you. Empathy, because of the inherent nature of meditation connecting us to everyone, and then becoming aware of this compliance means that I give away my power to somebody. And then as you draw what you want, you drop compliance at home, at office. You express, you are aligned to what you want. And so then what is the point of, there's no question of compliance. They're not there anymore. And so when these are not there, dear friends, then this is the stage where there's no compliance, no judgments. Everybody is going through their challenges. Everybody is evolving in their lifetime. So then, you are there in a review meeting, being very aggressive, wanting to expose somebody. You are there before. And so now you transformed. And so you recognize the same point when somebody is trying to be aggressive on you. When somebody is working and operating with their insecurities, we were there. I was there in insecurities long before. And so now, no insecurity. And so you recognize, yes, I've been there. And so then I allow them to be that way. No problem. Because I do know that they will also transform one day like me. And so then this empathy truly becomes a spiritual empathy. Cognitive empathy is helping others because they need support. You know that I have money, you know that I have more knowledge, intellectually raising it out, and so then you give that. It's intellectual, it's a mind level empathy, it's cognitive. You do it, but this is only lasts until the time you are pushed into a situation. The moment you are, a little busy, then you forget about all kinds of empathy. You just are only, one is taking care of themselves very selfishly, just by them, that's all for them. The moment they have a little bit of challenging situation, they get busy. The moment they are, into a project, they get busy. All this cognitive empathy is disappeared. Help to others is gone. Social empathy is more emotional. It is more than from an emotional brain it's coming. The social empathy is called mirror neurons are there. When I see somebody suffering, that because the social conditioning that we have, that then the mirror neurons that are there firing in front automatically. If they see somebody suffering, that I also suddenly get tears. It's called mirror neurons are there in our body, in our brain. They fire. And so then we also become a little emotional. And so then we support them. Social empathy is primarily through these mirror neurons. Emotional connection is there. Okay, so I've heard that helping others is great. And then here you feel their emotion. Suddenly you feel their emotion, you go and help them. Right? That's social empathy. It requires an emotional trigger for you to go and help, not otherwise. That video, that's why many social organizations, NGOs, put those videos that connect you, that show that, the little child suffering, that show that old person, that's not able to live life in there. That emotional connection is there, then a trigger that mirror neurons fire, and something deep happens, and we suddenly go into the oneness of it, and so we help them. And it lasts until the time that emotion memory is there in our mind. Otherwise, slowly it wanes. But a spiritual empathy, dear friends, it comes from feeling that connection inward every day in meditation. When you find that connection with everyone, because meditation, you're becoming one with the field and whole. That means you're becoming that Brahman. You are the whole. You are that divine. And so then naturally you're developing that connection to others. No one needs to tell you. No one needs to tell you. No video needs to show to you to feel that, okay, they need to be helped. It is there. Helped when is necessary. Empathy is not sympathy. In a lot of times, social empathy, where it's more of a sympathy. Oh, I feel sad about their life. Why should we feel sad about somebody's life? Why should we judge somebody as low? The moment you saw a person with a leg that is not well working, so he's dragging himself, climbing up the stairs, not able to there, and you look at it, give a sympathetic look and say, "Oh, poor thing, such a struggle for the life." And top of it, make such comments. You know how the other person feels. They have so much of self-respect. And you go to them and say, "What a poor thing! What a struggle for life for you." And sometimes they don't even know what we speak. We speak onto their face. That's much worse than not saying anything. For somebody they need a moral support and saying, "Oh," and then it comes from having an understanding that, okay, there karmically, there may be something for them, right? Situations are there. If I'm in a situation, there must be a holy past for it. And so then I understand, I too have gone through many challenges. And so then what I needed was a moral support, emotional support, not such sympathetic words which pull me down further. Lift them up and say, "Oh, okay, so come, I'll also come with you," is one thing. That's saying that, okay, what a sad life. My life must be very difficult for you, isn't it? When someone's a very important person gone out of their life, they vacate their body, they died, and then we go to them and say, what sympathetic words? And then in front of them, we tell somebody else, neighbor, what a sad story, Must be very difficult. I know how she's going to carry on her life. They're not going to help. They want to pull them down significantly. We must be clear in what we speak. We think that by saying those words, we're expressing our concern to them. We are actually pulling them down in most situations. And then what to do? Sometimes others also want that expression. And so in order to satisfy that desire, we're trying to manage situations. What a sad story goes on in these particularly tough situations, especially when people die and then we go to them. I really sympathize with you. So much of struggle this is going to be, but anyway, we all are there. You're telling so much of struggle for them. Our thoughts create reality. It's going to be so much of struggle. They said, can we change our response in situations where we hear that something that has happened? I'm very, very sorry for what has happened. Why do we feel sorry? Death is going to come to everybody anyway. Sorry, means something bad is happening to you. We're already putting them down. It's not something bad. Then why can't we say that these are the times that we can be stronger, and then every challenge is moving us to a greater part of our life. So absolutely. Look at this, and the life continuity is there. When we use these words, there's always life continuity. The person lived a great life, so they are transition, so that's great. And so there is continuity in life. When we use these words, then that is different than to sympathize and then use sympathetic words to people. Empathy is not sympathy. Empathy is understanding their situations and then giving them the support. So when you are empathetic, friends, when we are empathetic, so when we allow people to then fail, allow people to be imperfect. So manager who is empathetic is definitely helping people to tolerate a few things that are imperfect, maybe coming late here and there because there must be some reason. Maybe failing in their job because they tried but didn't work, because they're trying something new. They're more considerate. Only when we are empathy, we can be considerate, because otherwise always be very selfish about myself. Oh, don't tinker around with all those reports. Just give me whatever I want every day, the same thing. Because you change something, oh, it's going to I have to give so much explanation to my boss somewhere. It disturbs other people. So you just don't allow any innovation. because you're too worried about yourself, and so then you're not allowing any imperfection from others. But you have consideration to others, where he wants to do something always, that youngster wants to try something new. Okay, let them try. Why not? Improvisation will come. Innovation comes only when they are empathetic to others' needs. And meditation, because this connection is there, it is helping to build that connection, so then empathy is developed, spiritual empathy is developed. And so, dear friends, the moment we do that, we become great leaders. People come to you. They may not trust you in the beginning, and when they get to know you, then they'll come to you. They know that it is safe space, that you don't judge them just because they ask for an extra 30% hike. You don't judge them. Okay, there must be a need. So you look from that perspective. You don't say, oh, how can you be so selfish when company is struggling, you come and ask for 30% hike? I may have a reason for it. Why not? So they feel safe, and so then you become a great leader. You become magnetic around, and so then people are coming to you for solutions because you are a natural counselor to them, right, friends? A core competency of any leadership is empathy, and meditation develops plenty of it. You move from what is in it for me to what is in it for others. So, dear friends, with this leadership, naturally you have so many resources at you, so many resources that wanting to be with you, so many people wanting to be with you together, right? When you have this consideration for others, a lot of animals, some animals come to you, some don't. I mean, many animals, some go to people, some don't go to other people, is because of what vibration you emit. What vibration you emit? That compassion, that love, that you're there empathetic to them in many things, so they come to you, otherwise not. But when you have so many people and you become a natural leader, so you have now the ability to utilize this energy collectively towards some cause. This is called initiative. You take initiatives, you socialize, you engage people together onto greater experience of life. We may say greater cause of life, but it's greater experience of life, right? You're empathetic, many people are together, you love trekking, suddenly they want to be around you. You go towards group trekkings. Individual trekking, group trekking, great, a group activity, always. So much more to achieve. Start a foundation. You start a company because the people are around you, you know that they will be with you, so they start a company. You form a great team. So this is how we multiply our experiences. Emotional intelligence increases our ability to socialize and increase engagement. Right. When it increases, self-accountability becomes group accountability. We take that responsibility for group. And so, dear friends, automatically we are doing larger things in life, things that we always wanted, that did not be possible by ourselves. We take everyone else along. So in the end, then you're becoming a follower to leader. That's why every meditator, if you want a great leadership in your companies, give meditation to them. Because everyone, what is leadership? All of these qualities, be empathetic, take accountability, and go be happy, and then being able to express what you really want. Don't try to manage situations, don't try to push things under the carpet, try to bring them out openly, and so that the right thing happens to organization. Meditation is a great way to develop leadership in the organizations, especially entrepreneurs. The risk-taking ability, and then the feeling to live to your true feeling is so important for entrepreneurs. Connecting to the intuition, because a lot of data won't be there. When you don't have a lot of data, you make a decision. How do you decide? You got to connect with the intuition, right? A big company decisions a lot of times are easy because all the data is there. But here, no data. You need to know what works for the client. You need to know what price point to give. And then meditation gives a lot of kind of intuitive ability, so that you make a lot of decisions when data is not there. That's what meditation is, friends. So emotional intelligence, as we started on Monday when I said that if your intelligence, IQ, helps you to get a job or get a company or funding, your EQ helps you to really grow. It's EQ that helps you to grow because you multiply experience by working with everybody else. And EQ because you're not self-critical, you're more self-love oriented. Automatically, you bring your potential out, and then you bring the potential out from others by being emotionally very, very appropriate in working with others. Right, friends? So thank you very much for understanding this important concept. We'll hear some auxiliary topics around it in the remaining rest of the week. Things like 4 agreements, which are like amazing, amazing emotional connection topic, and some of those that we have will talk through for the rest of the week on emotional intelligence. Yes, Namita madam.
Yes, sir. Meditation teaches us to let go. We certainly become fearless. And what I felt, sir, that to accept myself and then subsequently to love myself is the biggest asset, and it's an expression of gratitude. Certainly, you are able to enjoy life more because you become consciously aware of your thought pattern and you are now consciously creating your reality. Again, really a wonderful session. Every time I am listening, I'm attending the sessions, I feel enriched. And when you are able to implement all these things in your life, all of a sudden you realize that yes, things are changing for every type of positivity in life. I always loved my ego more, used to take small things to my heart, always pondering upon unnecessarily wasting my time and energy. Now that is not the case. Why he hung up, or why she was staring at me, or maybe talking about me in a group when I'm not there. I think most of our time is getting wasted in thinking about what other people are going to think about you. You are no longer bothered, and in relationship, certainly it improves. Not that people are not good to you. Certainly, it's your perspective that is changing altogether, and you are able to see the things as they are. Otherwise, you are seeing the things as you are.
Yes, Saubanika.
Yes, sir. Hello, all. And I want to share my some of my quick manifestation experiences now. Actually, a few months back in the Flow program, 21 days program, I want to be a team facilitator, but at that time I had some work and I thought whether I can able to do that or not. And at the end, I could not do the team facilitator work, but Vani ma'am has asked me to do something, to do some volunteer work, and I that feeling was there inside me. I wanted to do something. I want to do something for the program to serve, like that kind of feel I had. Then in the at the end of the second week, someone called me and asked whether we can do the self love activities, and on the third week, fully I was there doing the self-love activities. I was so happy and satisfied that I wanted to do something that has happened. And then a few months back, while coming to Bangalore, we bought orange laddus for my uncle, but there were only 2 boxes. But I wanted to eat. I like that laddu. So I couldn't eat on that day. But next day, in the Buddha Seva office, that laddus were there. Next day itself, I had that. It was tastier than what we get here. And this in this program, I want to do something. So I like to do service. So I was thinking continuously for 1 to 1.5 weeks. Like, shall I do technical hosting or something I have to do for this 40 days program to express my gratitude. I am so grateful to the CEO. So I wanted to do something. I was continuously thinking for doing this technical host. You go and tell them, you go and tell Sayaka or someone. So immediately Sayaka in 1 or 1.5 weeks, she itself called me and asked whether I'm available to do technical hosting, and I told yes, I can do it. And after that, on the first day of technical hosting, I had some negative feeling inside. I don't know why I got that. Um, it was like it's completely negative. Something's not going to go well like that. So I was telling to my mind, it's going to be fine. Don't worry. Don't think too much. That feeling was there, but on the same day, on the first day of technical hosting, during the streaming, the audio was not heard. The only the video was streaming. So that negative feeling was telling that this is something is going to happen, but I couldn't figure it out. This is the thing exactly. So that has happened. And then in the Paima 41 days challenge, uh, last month itself, they called me to share my experiences. Since I had my session, 31-day session, I couldn't go. Then as soon as I completed my session, I came to technical hosting. That inner thought was that I want to go and share my experiences in Paima. So immediately after 1 week of technical hosting, that one akka from there, she called me and asked whether today are you available to share my experiences. Then on that day, I gave the technical hosting to someone, and I went there and shared. And at that time, I had this thought, okay, let me talk what this group needs. So, like that, I had that thought, and after I shared my experiences, two participants told that I had this experience, but I don't know what does that mean. So, from your sharing, I came to know that this is the meaning for that experience. And then again, this one for 1 or 1.5 weeks, I had this thought continuously. What is the difference between wisdom and knowledge? And in one of the sessions in last week, Chandra sir itself told what is the difference between wisdom and knowledge. Then another thing about money, I had this doubt continuously, and this also was answered by Chandra sir in the session. And on the same day, from another master, Pradeep Vijay master, one Akka went to his retreat. It was happening last week. From there, the Taka contacted me and was telling this is what Sir has told, exactly what I was asking for. The doubt was cleared from both of them on the same day itself. So this is another thing. And last week, I mean on end of March, at the on March 30, I think, I completed the autobiography of Yogi book, and that book was actually I won't read that much. I will read but 1 or 2 pages only. But after coming to meditation only, I like it to. I started reading. Before I won't read at all. So in that book, I experienced many things. I read very slowly, but very mindfully. Like every word, I was just imagining visualizing what the scene will be, how it will be. So while reading that, I was observing what's happening to my body, what's happening to my heart, what is the intuition I'm getting. So from that, I got answered to so many questions, to so many incidents. While I'm reading, the inner voice will continuously speak. Like that was not a thought. I know this incident happened because of this only. Like this, so many things had happened while reading that book. And one incident is when Lagari Mahasaya placed his hand on the forehead of Yukteswar ji. This area was vibrating for me. And while reading, another thing was while reading, intuition was telling, you asked her one question, right? So this is the answer for that. So like that, so many things happened. And this book I read because it was suggested to me by one Buddha Seva participant. We became so close and we talk every day. Rindaka. She suggested me, she requested me to actually. For her, I started reading. And after I completed that book, I don't know which book to start with. So I know I didn't complete all the 25 recommended books, but that question was there. What book I can start with next? So that question for 5 days I was continuously asking. I can take any book and read, but I don't know why I asked that question. On the fifth day, I came to a decision. Okay, however you are going to read all those books, start with any book. It will be you will choose the right one. Like that, I thought and I started with Soul's Journey. But on that day night, I had a dream. In the dream, Vani Madam and Chandra sir both were there. And when I saw Chandra sir in the dream, I don't know how to express that feeling. That feeling was so respectful, more than my father. Became a little emotional, and when I put my head on his shoulder and I closed my eyes for a second, the moment I closed my eyes, I went into a deep, deep, deep meditative state. It was completely dark. I don't know the meaning of deep. When Sar guides us to go deeper and deeper, I will be just observing that emptiness. How to go deeper, I don't know. But in that experience, I just felt it. What deepness means. Everything was silent and dark, and I just don't want to come out of that state. But since I need to move, I tried to open my eyes, but my eyes got tightened in the dream. I was observing all these. I just don't want to open, don't want to open. My heart was telling. But I opened, and I came from so long distance. I felt that, and when I moved, actually, when I near Chandra sir, around him there was an energy field, white color foam, like it was there. And when I moved 2 steps back, I saw an energy line around him. He was full of energy. I just felt it when I moved away. I was coming from higher vibration state to lower vibration state. I just felt it and I saw. And sir itself automatically telling, I didn't ask sir at that time in that dream. He was asking me to read Life After Death. And the second book was Birth by Death or Birth of Death. The word by or of was not clear. Sir's voice was very low. And the third thing was Octaves of All Souls. This word was new for me. I have not heard this word at all. Then after this, I was telling these things in the session, in the dream itself, in a session I was telling. Then Sar was telling, I have traveled 1,000 years back. And then something he told, I am getting these kind of experiences. Something he told, I remembered till that day afternoon. Then I forgot that word. Then something he was talking about. Then I woke from sleep. And after that, as soon as I woke up, I was searching for that book. What was that book? Starting with OCT. I know that word was octaves, but I doubted whether that is a thing or not. Then I used ChatGPT, Google, and I didn't get any book of that name. Then I went to ChatGPT. It suggested a name, Octaves of the Soul. Then I put that name in Google, and I got this book, Octaves of All Souls. But that was a fiction, and these doubts I have. Life after death means which author's book I need to read. Then there is no book with the same name, Birth of Death or Birth by Death. So which book I need to read? And these two questions I have. Then this one last experience. In last month, I conducted a 31-day session in Tamil, and thanks to Ratanavel sir for motivating me to start the sessions. And from that session, I learned a lot. Actually, I realized real learning starts after teaching only. Uh, I I was able to learn self-awareness, and I was coming to immediate conclusions, and I was assuming a lot. And like if participants leave when I start the meditation or in between when I'm talking, I was thinking, see, the content today was not nice. The music today, which I played, was not nice. I told you, no, today you don't want to choose this music. That's why she left. See, like these kind of thoughts were arising. But on the next day or within the 2 days, the proofs came. The same person contacted me, or in the next day session, they told, this is the reason why I left. I want to be there in the session, I want to do meditation, but because of these kind of situations, I left. So at that time, see, I told, see, you are imagining unnecessarily, you are assuming, you are concluding unwantedly. You should change this. You should come out of this. And next thing was, when I see the participants count, I had that fear. If so many people are there, how am I going to do? But I think that is, I know that is unnecessary. Where I am getting inspired by seeing Chandra sir and other masters, Ayappa master. See how many people they are uh, meeting every day, but how they are how they have developed all these. They would have started from this small thing only. So you start, you don't see the count, you don't get afraid. If 1,000 people are there, also you are going to speak the same. If one person is there, also you are going to speak the same. Like this, my mind and heart was both was supporting me at that time. And then happiness was there, then satisfaction was there while completing. Then my mind was unnecessarily thinking about negative things. What happened, what is going to happen in my life, my family. They are telling me this, you are doing this job, you are spreading meditation, doing this unnecessary thing. What the other people are going to tell, you are going to meditation. So that unnecessarily they are continuously putting those things into me again and again. But I was keeping my thoughts high. I'm not giving the attention to them. And I often Chandra sir appears in my dream and gives message. Last month back also he appeared and so telling how important my thoughts are. Be conscious of your thoughts. Be conscious of your thoughts. He twice he told and he went. So these kind of messages I'm getting, and after coming into meditation, my life is getting meaningful. I'm feeling happy. I know the masters and the universe is taking care of my life. It is me and our mind unnecessarily coming to conclusions, imagining. So all these are unnecessary. And reading books is helping me a lot. Thank you so much, sir, for encouraging, for everything you are doing. And all other Buddha CEO people.
I'll give you a nice hug if you're here. What is sharing you've done? What an amazing sharing you've done. Who has the, first of all, guts to share like this threadbare? And then joy that you're experiencing, the connection, the dots you're connecting every day through many of these. Wonderful, Sarvamika.
Thank you, sir.
This is your sincere practice. You're sincere towards this. Your last part, it is an eye-opener for many, many teachers who want to go out and teach everything you said. It goes through. The dialogue is going through deep inside. People will leave. Is the music good? All the time, logic, logic, logic. So many things you brought out there, right there. Anyway, you can't summarize what you said. You were there all over. You were all over. Okay, now. But amazing. I really thoroughly enjoyed. I'll go back and listen to this again. Okay. It seems like there's a lot that I need to take from this sharing today. Now, you read life after. Now, when you receive some messages, which are sometimes they're a little jumbled up, they may not be very clear, like the book name that you are saying. They can be clear, but they're jumbled up. It's like a dreams, the jumbled up dreams come. You are in this scene, then suddenly you are in this suit and this, but then suddenly in some ancient time. So these two don't mix up. Modern time, suits and then cars, versus you're in an ancient time in the same dream, suddenly something else. They don't mix up. That means they're jumbled up events of that one part of it and one part of it that got mixed up. Okay, all right. When you're accessing the Akashic records or whatever that from the field, when you're accessing all that past. So like that, when we receive messages, now this happens because the jumbled up stuff comes because you're tuning into many things, right? Tuning into many things. It is possible that when you're going into, let's say, Himalayas, you're looking at a lot of mountains, valleys, and you looked at various river sangamams. When you come back, when you narrate, sometimes you mix these things up, right? You exactly don't remember. Then you say, yeah, and then the mountain behind there is a stream, but it may not be there. You mix up things, right? Because the memory does not properly there, then we mix things up, not knowing. Same thing happens here. Things get mixed up a little bit as you're tuning in, all right? But then the more and more energetic we are, the more clearer we become with respect to what we see. Okay. So it's possible that you got some titles that are mixed up from one with the another, but the essence, however, is to read more of life after death books. That's an essence for sure. The essence is to understand the supreme or the intelligence that is out there. You start with Yoga and Paramahamsa's book, Great Start. Read a book by Raymond Moody, books by Raymond Moody, not just one book. So when you get something like that, it doesn't have to be exactly that. Raymond Moody.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Raymond Moody's books will become a little more scientific in nature, but then they're exploring life after death through experimentation, meaning when people who report various events in an accident, they saw something, they came back out of the comas. And so Raymond Moody did experimentation, meaning he studied several of the subjects who report such events. And so then he came up with this conclusion that many things happen when you are at the time of death, and then afterwards, what do you do? So some of those aspects are narrated through the experience of people that he collected, and then he tried to corroborate a bit of it. Okay. Read his books, Raymond Moody's books. Like there is a book by name, if I remember, Life After Death by him directly. Okay. And then Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon is another. Michael Newton, who is directly giving you a soul evolution, concepts of soul evolution, from an infant soul to the baby soul to young soul to the mature soul, old soul. What's all those souls? How are the characterized? All that is given by Michael Newton in soul evolution, right? Some of these
Okay,
books
sir.
start from any of the others, doesn't matter.
Okay, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, dear friends. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow again.
Everyone. Q&A and sharings will be done again tomorrow. There is no Q&A or sharings today, so we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.